East Jerusalem or Eastern Jerusalem is the sector of Jerusalem that was occupied by Jordan during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, as opposed to the western sector of the city, West Jerusalem, which was occupied by Israel. Since the 1967 Arab-Israeli War, East Jerusalem has been considered occupied by Israel by the international community. This area includes Jerusalem's Old City and some of the holiest sites of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, such as the Temple Mount, Western Wall, Al-Aqsa Mosque, Dome of the Rock and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, as well as a number of adjacent neighborhoods. Israeli and Palestinian definitions of it differ. The Palestinian official position is based on the 1949 armistice agreements, while the Israeli position is based mainly on the current municipality boundaries of Jerusalem. These were determined by a series of administrative enlargements decided by Israeli municipal authorities since the June 1967 Six-Day War. Despite its name, East Jerusalem includes neighborhoods to the north, east and south of the Old City and, in the wider definition of the term, even on all these sides of West Jerusalem. The international community considers Israeli settlements in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem, to be illegal under international law. Israel disputes this interpretation. During the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, Jerusalem was contested between Jordan and Israel. At the cessation of hostilities, the two countries secretly negotiated a division of the city, with the eastern sector coming under Jordanian rule. This arrangement was formalized in the Rhodes Agreement in March 1949. David Ben-Gurion presented his party's assertion that Jewish Jerusalem is an organic, inseparable part of the State of Israel, in December 1949. And, the following year, Jordan annexed East Jerusalem. These decisions were confirmed respectively in the Israeli Knesset in January 1950 and the Jordanian Parliament in April 1950. When occupied by Israel after the 1967 Six-Day War, East Jerusalem, with expanded borders, came under direct Israeli rule, though, according to Ian Lustig, never formally annexed. In a unanimous General Assembly resolution, the UN declared the measures changing the status of the city to be invalid. In the Palestine Liberation Organization's Palestinian Declaration of Independence of 1988, Jerusalem is stated to be the capital of the State of Palestine. In 2000, the Palestinian Authority passed a law proclaiming Jerusalem as its capital, and in October 2002, this law was approved by Chairman Yasser Arafat. Since that time, Israel has shut down all offices and NGO organizations connected to the PLO in East Jerusalem, saying that the Oslo Accords do not permit the Palestinian National Authority to operate in Jerusalem. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation recognized East Jerusalem as capital of the State of Palestine on 13 December 2017. The annual number of building permits granted for construction in Israeli settlements in East Jerusalem have expanded by 60% since Donald Trump became U.S. President in 2017. Since 1991, Palestinians, who make up the majority of the residents in East Jerusalem, have only received 30% of building permits. On 27 June 1967, Israel expanded the municipal boundaries of West Jerusalem so as to include approximately 70 square kilometers, and 28 villages and areas of the Bethlehem and Beit Jala municipalities 64 square kilometers. East Jerusalem is the familiar term in English. Arabs largely use the term Arab Jerusalem for this area in official English language documents, emphasizing the predominance of the Arabic-speaking Palestinian population, while Israelis call the area East Jerusalem because of its geographic location in the east of the expanded Jerusalem. The area of East Jerusalem has been inhabited since 5000 BCE, with settlement beginning in the Chalcolithic period. Tombs are attested by the Early Bronze Age, around 3200 BCE. In the late 2nd millennium BCE, settlement concentrated around the city of David, which was chosen because of its proximity to the Gihon spring. Massive Canaanite constructions were undertaken, with a water channel excavated through rock drawing water to a pool inside the citadel. whose wall was a massive 23 feet thick, built from rocks some weighing up to 3 tons. In 1934, the British Mandatory Authorities divided Jerusalem into 12 wards for electoral purposes. The mapping was criticized by those who believed it was drawn to ensure a Palestinian majority on the Jerusalem City Council. The actual mapping suggests otherwise. According to Michael Dumper, who states that the peculiar hook on the western electoral borders was a gerrymander made to include as many new Jewish neighborhoods on that side as possible, while keeping outside of the boundaries Arab villages. To the east, the city's border ended at the old city walls. In order to exclude the contiguous Arab neighborhood of Silwan, Ras Al Amud and At-Tur and Abu Tor, these boundaries defined the M.